What is going on, Rough family? It is your boy Roy here, CEO of Rough Fitness. And man, does it feel good to be back. I mean it when I say I feel like it's been forever since I've set up this camera and talked in front of this microphone to create some content for you guys. But we're here, we're doing it, and I appreciate you being here. And if you get anything out of this podcast, you already know the drill. If you could share it, subscribe, turn on notifications, all of those things, it means the world to me. But today, I really want to talk about 2023. It's right around the corner, and I want to give you the 4-step process to building your happiest, healthiest life. I know that as the New Year's comes around, we're all setting goals, we're talking about New Year's resolutions, and health and wellness is in the front of your head. And so today I want to give you that 4-step process that if you follow this process and you stay consistent, you are guaranteed success, okay? It's easier said than done, but get paper and pen, take notes, because I mean it when I say that we've all been here before. It's been a new year, we make a goal, we stick to it for a couple days, couple weeks, maybe a month or two if we're lucky, and then it fizzles out. The motivation goes away. And this is a bulletproof plan any time of the year. Anytime you get that whiff of motivation and you want to change your life for the better, you come back to this process. It could be New Year's, middle of summer, holiday season. You follow these steps for anything, and it will get you to where you want to be. So with that being said, I know you guys are all excited. Let's get into step number 1. It's pretty simple, but a little bit more complex than you think. Identifying your goals. Step 1, identify your goals. All right? And what I want you guys to do different is I need this to be very specific, very black and white, and if it could be numeric based, that would be awesome. Okay, I find that a lot of people get into this idea of I just want to feel better, I want to be healthier, and although that is great, we're not there yet. Okay, I want something very specific, something out of your comfort zone, something that is going to push you. The example I'm going to use today, because most of the clients that we get want to lose weight, they want to burn fat, all right? They fall into this I want to be healthier category, okay? They want a better quality of life. So the example I'll give is somebody who wants to lose 30 pounds. And you can relate this if you want to lose 15 pounds, if you have over 100 pounds to lose, or even if you want to gain weight or body recomposition. What does that look like for you, okay? And the way I think about this is, for somebody who wants to lose weight, if you do want to feel better or be healthier, what was a weight that you were at that was your healthiest, right? What weight would you be if you were healthy, if you were living your best life? And if you don't have a weight goal, this could be a strength goal. It could be to bench press, squat, deadlift a certain amount of weight. It could be to do a CrossFit competition. It could be to do a bodybuilding show. It could be to run a 5K or a marathon or do an Ironman. There's a lot of things that could be very specific here to say either I did the Ironman or I didn't do the Ironman. Either I ran the 5K in X amount of time or I didn't, right? This needs to be very specific so you can work towards it and build a plan around it, all right? So if you're taking notes, you're writing on your phone, or you have paper and pen, write down step 1, what's my goal? And then write what that goal is. Again, black and white, very specific, numeric if possible. Step number 2 is the why behind it, okay? Why do I want that to be my goal? All right. If you want to lose 30 pounds, the question is why? Where did you come up with that number? Okay. Was that the weight you were in high school? Was that the weight you were in college? Was that the weight you were before you had kids? Was that the weight when you just felt your best, when you were competing at your highest level? Like, why did you choose that goal? Okay. If you want to run a 5K, 10K, you want to do a CrossFit competition, why? What does that mean for you? Okay, if you were to accomplish those things, what would that mean? And usually the why category falls into one of 2 things, all right? You either want to look a certain way or you want to feel a certain way. It's going to come down to one of those 2 things, and I want you to identify which category you fall into or a little bit of both. But again, the more specific you can be and embrace this, the better. If you want to look a certain way, usually this just comes into place of you want to fit into your clothes, you want to feel better, you want more confidence, you want to go look in the mirror and like what's looking back at you. You don't want to be in the back of photos. You want to be in the front of photos. You want to be the hot friend or the hot family member whenever you guys get together. Like, you want to fit into that 2-piece bathing suit when you go to the beach or on vacation. Like, these are all things that relate to looking a certain way, confidence, right? Some people, it's I want to look sexy for my significant other. I want to look good naked. I want to re-spark that thing, that oomph in our relationship, right? Those are all awesome goals, okay? And if that is your why, I need you to embrace it 100%. I do find that a lot of people steer away from that, even though it might be their why, because they feel like if they say that, then they feel shallow or vain. But we're talking about building your happiest, healthiest life. This is your goal. This is going to be the thing that is the reason why you wake up early in the morning, or you move around your schedule to make these things happen, or stick to your nutrition plan. This has to be something that to your core you want and believe in, right? That's going to get you from point A to point B. And so if you want to look a certain way, embrace that. And in the process of you looking a certain way and getting more confident, all those things, all the other health benefits will come with it. That was my why. When I first started Rough, when I first started doing my workouts and living my happiest, healthiest life, my goal was, I was actually dating a girl. She broke up with me. She cheated on me. And I said, I don't want to be this small kid anymore. Like, I don't want to be high school Roy. I want to grow up. I want to put on 40 pounds of muscle. I want abs. I want to be an athlete. Like, I wanted to be that guy in my friend group. And for social status, like, I wanted to look a certain way. I wanted the confidence, right? So if that's your why, embrace it. The second thing is feeling a certain way. And usually this comes into play of you want a feeling of security of some sort, right? You want to be around for when your kids graduate high school or graduate college, or your grandkids graduate high school or college. You want that security that you have your health in check so you can be around for a long period of time. Or you have the feeling that you don't want, where when you go up the steps, you don't want to be out of breath. Or you want to be able to play with your kids and keep up with them and experience life with your significant other, or experience life with your kids, or whatever that looks like, right? You want to feel a certain way when it comes to your health and wellness. You step on the scale and you hate the number that you see right there, and you don't want to feel that way anymore. You're scared to go to the doctor's office because you have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and you want to get rid of those things. You want to get those things in check. You want to get off your medications. You want the freedom there. You want the feeling of freedom from all of these traps and things like that, right? And that is also an awesome motivator. But again, if that's your why, you need to embrace it 100%, because this can't be the thing that you've said over and over and over again in your head for the last 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. You have to dig deep here. It has to be the thing that's going to get you out of bed when you don't feel like doing it. That when shit hits the fan, that you are doing everything in your power to keep moving forward because of this why. Okay? So many of us say our why, and it's not like we don't embrace it 250%, or we're not being honest with ourselves. Okay? This has to be the thing that moves us forward. It has to be very, very, very powerful here. So we've done 2 steps. We have identified our goal, and we've identified why is that our goal. Step number 3 is setting the game plan. And I think a lot of you guys do this every single time, and it's pretty self-explanatory. But there's 3 pillars when it comes to your fitness, okay? There's workouts, nutrition, and accountability. When it comes to workouts, what is the game plan as far as how often are you going to work out? What are you going to accomplish? What type of workouts? All of those things, and you need to write it out, okay? This is what my schedule looks like, and this is when I can fit it in. All right. A lot of times people just try to add in an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of working out every single day, and it doesn't really fit your schedule. Okay. Look at your schedule and what you have. If you add an hour of working out every single day, that's fine. But what are you getting rid of? You can't just add in an hour. You're not going to add in 25 hours in the day. If you add in that hour of working out, what are you getting rid of? And you need to be able to account for that into your schedule. Okay, so figure out the game plan. Are you working out 3 days a week, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, every single day? Like, what does it look like? What type of workouts are you doing? Are you just going for walks? Are you doing cardio? Are you doing resistance training? Are you going to get a personal trainer? Are you joining a group style gym? Like, what is the goal here? And do you have a plan for that? Okay. Number 2 is nutrition. What kind of nutrition plan are you going to follow? Are you going to do tracking your macros? Are you going to track your food? Are you going to do keto, intermittent fasting, vegan diet, vegetarian, paleo? There's so many different diets, okay? But when it comes to nutrition, all right, my ask for you is just to track your food. Even if you don't know anything about if it fits your macros or anything like that, track what you eat on a consistent basis. Some of you guys love doing that. Some of you hate it. Some of you think it's tedious. But here's the thing. Whether you do keto, intermittent fasting, paleo, whatever diet, the seafood and eat it diet, like, it does not matter. I need you to track what you eat. And the reason for that is so you can see trends. If you're not seeing the results you want, usually it comes from nutrition. And if you're tracking your food, you can see, even if it's just calories, when did you eat too much? When did you eat too little? Because when it comes to nutrition, we simply just want consistency. Whatever plan you pick, whatever nutrition plan or diet you choose, I want it to be something that you can do on weekends. Think about that, okay? What diet am I willing to follow on weekends? What diet am I willing to follow on my anniversary, when I'm on vacation, when I am at a birthday party? And be honest with yourself, because we are, as humans, we are emotional eaters. The number one reason why people fall off their diet is because of emotional eating, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. Think about it. You're celebrating something, a birthday, an anniversary, a promotion, you just had a baby, or you found out you're having a baby, right? These are all great things. And what do you want to go do? You want to go eat fun food. You want to go celebrate. You want to go drink. Like, we're emotional eaters. But also on the bad spectrum, you lose your job, okay? You lose a loved one. You are going through a hard time. You're unmotivated. You're fighting with your significant other, or you have falling out with a friend. Like, all these things lead to what? Emotional eating, okay? So the question is what can we follow when we're at our highs of highs and when we're at our lows of lows? The way I think about this is, what nutrition plan can I follow on the weekends? And easily put, if you track your food, you can say, hey, look, I really am actually doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing, and you can see your consistency, all right? And if you're not willing to track your food, then you're not really going to know if what you're doing is working. So that's my recommendation, is to track your food. Number 3, accountability. I would try to get as much accountability as you can. I'm a big believer in putting it out in the universe, putting it on social media, telling your friends, telling your coworkers, telling everybody what your goals are, why you're doing it, so they're all on the same page whenever you're around them, okay? But you have 3 different spaces, okay? You have your friends, you have your family members, and you have your coworkers. I would find an accountability in each one of those spaces. Okay, so when you're with your friends, hang out with the friends who are holding you accountable. When you're hanging out with your family, hang out with the family as much as you can to hold you accountable. It's good to have somebody on your team. Coworkers, you spend most of your time probably at work. Do you have a coworker doing this with you or holding you accountable to those things? And then above all else, I highly recommend getting a coach that you trust. And I say this and I mean it, because all of your friends and family at some point, if they're not doing this with you, or if they fall off the wagon, usually they'll stop holding you accountable, all right? There's going to come a time where you need that helping hand. You need that stern, hey, let's get back on the horse and let's keep moving forward. And if your family and friends aren't there to pick you up, then you're probably going to fall off. But if you are genuinely paying a coach to say, hey, keep me on track, then guess what they're going to do? Whether you love it, like it, or don't like it, if you're paying them, they're going to show up and they're going to say, hey, you need to do this. Hey, stick to your plan. Hey, let's modify this plan as time goes on. So I highly recommend having an accountability coach, having somebody that is there in your corner, whether you like it or not, to pick you back up when you're down and keep you moving forward. I can't stress it enough. All right. We've depended on friends and family and all these other people to do this with us, and it's fun in the beginning, but you need somebody in your corner when times get tough. Okay. So I highly recommend it, getting an accountability coach. All right. And so that's step number 3, is building the game plan around workouts, nutrition, accountability, fitting into your schedule, all of those things. This is step 4. This is the thing that so many people miss. Pay attention. I want you to think about the game plan you can follow. What I call this is the foundations. Okay. Step 4 is building the foundation. What is the things you can do with your workouts, nutrition, and accountability that you could do on your worst day? What could you do consistently? What could you do even if you lost motivation and you said, I just got to show up for myself? What could you do when life throws you curveballs, when shit hits the fan, when life just seems like it's against you? What's the foundations that we can come back to so we don't lose all the progress we had? That we can still say we showed up for ourselves, that we can still be proud of ourselves. What does that look like? What's the foundation? For workouts, is it, hey, at the bare minimum, I'm going to get 15 minutes a day, even if it's just walking? Okay, for nutrition, simple. I already gave you this one. Just track your food. Even if you're going off the wall and you're eating way more cake than you think you're supposed to, just track the cake so you can see that later, right? Accountability. Get an accountability coach. That way you're paying them and they're there for you even when you don't feel like it. Even when you don't want to talk to your friends about it, you don't want to talk to your coworkers about it, you're not talking to your family about it, and they all fell off and nobody's holding you accountable, that coach is still going to be there. What does that foundation look like? And those things, the foundation is a requirement we make for all of our clients. Every single one of our clients who come in needs to make that agreement. That agreement that they're willing to do 15 minutes a day, even if it's just walking. Dedicated time for themselves. Even though they feel like, hey, I could work out an hour a day. I love working out. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm like, that's great. But what are you going to do on your worst day? Hey, if you can show up for yourself and just do 15 minutes, a home WOD or walking, you should be proud of that, right? Hey, even if you said you were going to do keto and you fell off, at least you tracked your food. And we can learn from this mistake and move on. We can see how often are we falling off. Accountability. You have a coach in your corner that's getting you back on track. Normally you'd quit and you'd give up for 6 months. But hey, you gave up, you fell off for 3 or 4 days, and that accountability coach is helping you get back on track now instead of 6 months, a year, 5 years later. These are the things that we teach our clients, all right? And so many people miss this. You start with the foundations and you build on top of that. So now you have a game plan for your best days and what fits into your schedule, and you have a game plan for when life isn't quite going your way. And that's the part that people miss. If they feel like they're all or nothing. If I can't do this top tier plan, this perfect plan, then I'm a failure. And it's just not true. There are so many ebbs and flows when it comes to life. Life is going to throw you curveballs. It's not always going to be perfect. So it's important to have 2 game plans. When life is going your way and you're motivated and you're crushing it, this is what I'm going to do. But the other, 70% of the time when life isn't quite going my way, or there's curveballs, or kids are this, or sick that, or whatever the case is, you say, hey, I'm just going to show up for myself and do this. So I don't lose all of it. I'm not having to start over every single year. And that's the part that makes the difference, is the consistency with the foundations. It's not about being all or nothing. It's not about being perfect every single day. It's about showing up for yourself, starting with the foundation and building up from there. And then that way, when you get knocked back off your horse, you have something to fall back on, that foundation to keep going. You guys, this is the 4-step plan, just as a quick recap, all right? We have 1, identifying the goal. Be specific, black and white, numeric if possible. Number 2, why is that your goal? What are you going to get out of accomplishing that goal? Are you going to look a certain way, feel a certain way, or a mix of both? Number 3 is building that game plan and being realistic with your workouts, what actually fits into your schedule, okay? What are you willing to give up time-wise to fit that in? With nutrition, what could you follow on weekends? With accountability, getting as many accountability partners and groups as you can, and getting a coach if possible. And number 4, the foundations. What could we do on our worst day consistently so we're not falling off track and constantly having to start over? So this lasts 365 days and beyond, not just 1 month. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I appreciate you guys being here. Again, if you liked this game plan, if you plan on following this game plan, if you learned something here, go ahead, do me a solid, subscribe, turn notifications off, and more than anything, share this. Share this with a friend, send it to somebody, put it out in the universe, what your goals are and what you're trying to accomplish, and let's make 2023 the best year yet. I'm your boy, Roy. Just remember, we don't pray for an easy life. We earn a rough one. Y'all keep earning those cookies. I'll see you next time.